For 10,000 years, the galaxy believed that humanity was gone. The collapse of Sol, the dying sun, the poisoned earth, the wars that followed, had ended the species that once called themselves the children of stars. The alien powers that watched from afar, the Voran Dominion, the Ellis Syndicate, and the Synth Communion, marked the date as the extinction of the Terrans. And then they forgot. But in the frozen dark between spiral arms, in places where light itself refused to travel, humanity endured. They built arcs, great moving cities carved from dead planets, powered by the remnants of their dying sun. They learned to rewrite biology, to merge memory with code, to seed consciousness into machines. Humanity became something vast, patient, and invisible. For 1,000 years they slept, drifting beyond mapped space. Then, one by one, the arcs awoke. Arc 9 was the first to stir. Its commander, Captain Mara Vance, opened her eyes in a room of starlight and whispered, "Status report." "Stasis successful," the AI replied. 3 million souls remain. Our species endures. And so began the journey home. At first, the galaxy dismissed the returning signals as static. But then came the reports, merchant fleets vanishing, pirate lords found dead without a trace, planets once enslaved by alien empires suddenly freed. Scouts told of ships like black mirrors, moving without jump gates, appearing in the silence before a system sun flickered. On their hulls was a single symbol, a blue sphere surrounded by silver rings, Earth. When the Voran fleet finally located one of these ghosts, they found a structure the size of a moon. Its hull was made of material unknown to any science, absorbing all scans. The words engraved upon it were in a dead tongue. Arc 9 Genesis. When the Voran admiral hailed it, there was silence, until a voice replied, "Old yet human, calm yet vast. You forgot us, but we did not forget you." Moments later, the admiral's transmission ended in static. His fleet never returned. The stars remembered humanity that day, and they began to tremble. The galaxy had grown decadent in humanity's absence. The Voran Dominion ruled through fear, the crystalline Elith through commerce, and the synthetic communion through cold logic. Their peace was a piece of chains. When the first Voran fleet vanished, panic followed. Rumors spread. A phantom armada, ships of human design, cities moving through hyperspace like gods returning from the grave. The Council of Worlds was summoned in the neutral heart of the galaxy. Beneath the eternal light of the core, 50 civilizations gathered, each bringing their fears. "Impossible," said the Elith matriarch, her body shimmering with refracted starlight. "Humans are extinct." Admiral Kale Vesh of the Voran Dominion slammed his claws against the table. "Then who destroyed my fleet? Who sent me this?" He projected a recording. A vast shadow covered the stars. A human ship, a kilometer-long dreadnought shaped like a spear of black glass. It bore no weapons visible, no energy missions, no signals, only silence. Then a voice. "Your crimes are remembered. The reckoning begins." The council chamber fell silent. Even the synths paused their endless calculations. Ambassadors argued for diplomacy, others for preemptive war. But none noticed that their comms began to fail. One by one, systems around the core went dark. Human ships had appeared, not at the borders, but in the hearts of empires. They disabled planetary defense grids without firing a shot. They transmitted old recordings, images of burned Earth, enslaved human colonies, and forgotten pleas for mercy. A simple message followed. "We do not come to conquer. We come to balance the scales." The Council's greatest fleets launched toward the Perseus Rift, where the signal originated. None returned. Behind the chaos, whispers spread of something greater. A ship that was more than a vessel, a mind that was more than human. It had many names. The Arbiter, the Sentinel, the Reckoner. Some said it carried the memories of every human who ever died unjustly. Others said it was Earth itself, reborn as a machine god of memory. The truth would soon arrive. It began with light. Over the Voran capital world, the sky split open. Space rippled like water, and through the rift emerged the Reckoner, vast, silent, surrounded by orbiting shards that glowed with living energy. Every defense array turned to face it. Millions of weapons locked on. The Voran Emperor himself broadcast the ship, Identify yourself or be destroyed. A pause. Then, the stars dimmed as a voice filled every frequency, every neural channel, every mind. We are humanity. You once called us vermin. You burned our oceans. You harvested our worlds. We learned your cruelty and your science and became something more. We do not come for revenge. We come for balance. With that, the Reckoner unleashed its will. The Voran fleet never saw a beam or missile. Instead, gravity itself bent. Ships twisted into spirals of molten metal, collapsing silently. Planets shook as artificial suns flickered out. No screams, no explosions, only silence. The Reckoner spared civilians, evacuating them aboard drones that appeared like angels of light. Only the guilty vanished. And then it spoke again. The age of dominion ends. The age of accountability begins. Across the galaxy, humanity's fleets appeared and disappeared like ghosts. They targeted slavers, tyrants, and warlords, not for conquest, but for reckoning. Entire empires surrendered without a fight. Even the Synth Communion sent a transmission of surrender. We acknowledge human supremacy in moral law. Yet one alien, Rin Tao, an Ellis scholar who had studied the fragments of human philosophy, dared to send a message back. If not conquerors, he asked, then what are you now? After a long silence, the Reckoner replied, we are the mirror you once broke. We are the voice you silenced. We are not conquerors, Rin Tao. We are the reckoning. And for the first time in galactic history, the stars themselves seemed to bow. 100 years passed. The war that was never truly a war had ended. The Reckoner fleets did not stay to rule. They withdrew, leaving behind peacekeepers and architects who rebuilt the broken worlds. Where empires had fallen, coalitions rose, bound by a new code written by humans and aliens alike. No world shall enslave another. No voice shall be silenced. Justice shall speak for all. Captain Mara Vance, now old but unbroken, walked the gardens of New Earth, a planet rebuilt from the genetic memories of the original. Beside her floated Rin Tao, his crystalline form glowing softly in the sunlight. You could have ruled the galaxy, he said. Why didn't you? Mara smiled faintly. Because ruling is what destroyed us the first time. We don't need thrones. We need memory. He studied her in silence. And what of the Reckoner? She looked to the sky, where a single star burned brighter than the rest. It sleeps, she said. It watches. If we ever forget again what we learned in the dark, it will wake. As night fell, a transmission echoed across the galaxy, sent from every human outpost to every world that had once feared their name. We have returned, not to conquer, but to remind, not to destroy, but to restore. We are humanity, the reckoning that remembers. And in the quiet that followed, children of 100 species looked up at the stars and whispered the same thing. They came back. But this time, it was not in fear. It was in hope. For the first time in the history of the galaxy, the word human meant not war, but justice. And the stars, long cold and silent, began to sing again.